Hey everyone. This week we were in week 3 of our series Chasing the Wind, and we found ourselves in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Like I mentioned in the sermon, this is probably the most popular portion of Ecclesiastes, the very first part of chapter 3. Again, it was made popular in a number 1 hit song from the 60s by a band called The Byrds, kind of an oldie, but it essentially, the lyrics to that song are essentially Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. And so the big ideas this week from the sermon are that life is full of different seasons. And each season of your life comes with unique challenges and opportunities that you may never have again. And Solomon seems to acknowledge and recognize that. Number 2, there's also an acknowledgement that the seasons of this life under the sun on earth are not all that there is. He mentions that God has put eternity in our hearts. And so that is particularly good news if you are going through a difficult season of life right now, or a particularly sad or sorrowful season. It's good to know that this world and these seasons that we're in are not all there is, and that one day things will be much, much better. Number 3 was that life is a gift, and it should not be taken for granted. Despite all of Solomon's despair, he seems to acknowledge that on several occasions. And then finally, he also seems to acknowledge that a life lived well is a life lived with a proper fear of God, no matter what season you're in. All right? And so those were kind of the big ideas from the first part of Ecclesiastes 3. Some questions this week that you can ask in your small group. As always, what was most interesting or encouraging to you? And then what was most challenging or raised some further questions for you? Question number 3, take some time and discuss the current season of life that you find yourself in. You can go around the room, let everyone share, discuss that season. Is it a particularly good season? Is it maybe a bad or a difficult season? Is it a fun or enjoyable season? Maybe it's a confusing season. On and on you could go. Just let everyone share kind of a little bit about the season that they're going through. And then the next question comes from these. What unique challenges or opportunities are you facing in this current season of life? And then a follow-up question. What is God teaching you in this particular season? Or what lessons are you learning in this particular season of life? All right? Take some time and discuss that. And then finally, take some time and discuss the fear of the Lord. This is a big idea and a big theme in the Bible, that we should be people who fear the Lord, who walk in the fear of God, who properly learn to fear God. And so I talked about it a little bit at the end of the sermon, but what does it mean to fear God? And then what does it look like for us to properly fear God in the various seasons of our life? All right? The action step this week was just a reminder that life is a gift and it should not be taken for granted. And so, man, do something fun and enjoyable this week. Enjoy life, all right? And be grateful to God for it, okay? We will see y'all next Sunday. Hope you're enjoying the series. Next week, Austin will wrap up chapter 3 and then get us into chapter 4, all right? See you guys Sunday.